And so, here we are. Another season gone, and another season to come. We've had a lot of ups and downs this season, and while we haven't explored Equestria to such an extent, we've done something much more important: reform a character completely. Unlike Discord, who still has his moments of chaos and somewhat antagonistic tones, Starlight has become a full-fledged redeemed character. Again, her motives for creating her town and wanting to exact revenge on the main six for ruining it were rather silly. However, despite this, she has come around to right her wrongs and improve, all of which have only emphasized this heck of a finale. Throughout Season 6, we have seen Starlight as a character who has struggled to mend a friendship, but then do so, and use that as inspiration to form other friends, and trust in those who might seem untrustworthy from her friends' opinions. Starlight has been the pupil of Twilight, yet at the same time has taught everyone lessons, especially us, the viewers. From standing up and being a leader, to sticking with your friends and forgiving past actions, to the occasional shy moment and mishaps on bonding, Glimmer has made a name for herself in the series. I personally believe that being a leader is something that can be natural for some, or shy for others, but at some point in all of our lives we will all have to be a leader, and break out of our shells to lead, learn, and achieve. It was great to see Starlight acknowledge Twilight right from the very beginning of the finale. However, something that Starlight was content with Twilight being with was a leader of her group and her teachings.
The town where you magically stole every pony's cutie mark, replaced them with equal signs, and forced them all to hide their natural talents?
Not only is it understandable that Starlight would have a big doubt in her mind regarding leadership after the events that happened in her village, but for all ponies and people in general, some are happy with being a follower and not a leader. We've seen before that Starlight was hesitant to make a move to see Sunburst, and when she did, it blew up in her face initially. This combines to make for a very nervous and worried character when it comes to this subject, but alas, something must occur in order to push our newest main character into the spotlight, this being the upcoming celebration at, you guessed it, Starlight's old village. But let's talk about Trixie for a second. Trixie has had a lot of spotlight in this season when compared to previous ones, and this time she has a major role in the finale and in Starlight's life as a friend. We see her give advice, half-handedly of course, but she still performed acts of sacrifice, both in No Second Chances and now in the finale. She truly does consider Starlight a friend, and it only seems clear that the ends that they would go to save one another is high. It is because of this that I not only laughed when seeing Trixie as the go-to friend on a mission, but clapped to the writers for making this choice. Now don't get me wrong, Twilight has brought Starlight out of a pit, and Starlight trusts her as much as Trixie, but there is one thing that Trixie and Starlight share that Twilight never will by her own choice, and that is being a villain in the past and learning from it in the present.
Princess Luna? What are you doing here?
Ah yes, Luna. Almost forgot about you this season. It was lovely to see a royal sister have a role in this episode, and perhaps Luna had the biggest role in this by stopping the threat to Equestria. Had she not reached out to Starlight in a dream, the ponies we love might not have been around for much longer. I honestly can say that I never compared Luna to Starlight, but when thinking about it, the two do share a common past, much like Trixie. It's a shame that we had to encounter some obliviousness from Starlight in order to progress the finale. I certainly hid my face in shame a little from seeing Starlight talk with an obvious fake Pinkie Pie.
Hey! You? So, you're probably wondering why I'm back so soon. Where were you? I went to my old village? For the festival? Ooh, sounds fun! How was it?
Starlight, please take my advice and get to know your friends a little more than just by look. Pinkie was clearly not being herself, and in all honesty, even more so than Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, or Rainbow Dash, Spike was the biggest standout of the main characters. Twilight caught herself partially through the charade, but I was truly amazed that Starlight did not see what was going on much earlier. What was going on, you might be thinking? Changelings, that's what. Yes, they finally did it. That one black speck that you saw at the end of the season premiere, that was Thorax most likely, but the fact that we had a changeling with a voice and a role in this season hinted at this finale all along. Seeing Starlight and a very startled Trixie meet Thorax once more to discuss what was going on gives us a chance to see a rather unique visual, his wings. Thorax's wings are noticeably different from other changeling wings, most likely because Thorax was a reformed changeling now that he gave love to make friends such as Spike. At this point, Starlight is noticeably nervous that she could not do anything to stop the return of the changelings, despite having the power to alter time and realities in the past. We know that she is a magical pony, and when you come to think about it, her plan to alter time was not magical itself, only when the plan was set in motion was magic involved. She's a great pony when it comes to making plans and even executing them, which made me question why Starlight said she couldn't do this, when in reality it was more that she didn't want to do this, when she knew that she had to. This takes us to the center of the journey, the Changeling Hive. Design-wise, it actually looks like it could camouflage well if it wasn't so tall, but the colors match the scenery. More importantly is the hive's design and its function. Thorax reveals that the throne inside is made from an ancient dark rock that sucks up magic much like changelings suck up emotions. How they found the rock, or why they carved it into a throne and not leave it into a heavy durable stone, that's obviously not important. What is more important is the function of the hive's interior. The fact that it changes and opens and closes walls can be very confusing, and I suppose all changelings can open them at will, though perhaps we can guess that Chrysalis can open a few select rooms for anything secret and important. Whoa. I guess that idea's out of the picture now, though. The most important aspect of the Changeling return is the massive plan that they had. To put their plan in simple terms, they wanted to take over the main six, the princesses, Shining Armor, and Flurry Heart, but probably just to include her in the end of the episode, drain the love meant for them, probably at events like the Summer Sunset Festival or Grand Galloping Gala, or even anything in the Crystal Empire where love is spread out, and then redirect it back to Chrysalis to feed her hive. This plan actually sounds like a good one, if they could get the princesses out with any guards knowing, that is. I'm almost certain that military bronies are having a field day with how unfit the royal guard is, yet again, with protecting the princesses. It's still unclear as to whether or not Chrysalis was serious when she thought that taking love and giving it as a source of food to an empire-like group was the only way to survive, when compared to what we all believe would be common sense, giving and sharing love. It seemed as if Chrysalis knew that there was another way to feed and survive, as she must have the knowledge that ponies love each other from stealing it from them, but did this method of putting fear into her subjects that this was the only way to survive, in order to stay in power. This is yet again a moment of relatableness with Starlight in her past when she forced ponies into doing what she desired. It gave us a great sense of true reform that she admitted her wrongdoings to Chrysalis, despite Chrysalis's refusal to reform. Overall, I thought this to be as good a finale as some previous ones, and a nice callback to the Changelings. The moral of being a leader even when you aren't ready for it is relatable, as sometimes the threat is ready when you aren't, and this is why sometimes you need to act. Animation-wise, I loved the scene with Chrysalis's reveal, and even things such as the transparent spell between Trixie and Starlight, or the transformation of Thorax. The character development was strong with Starlight, Trixie, and Thorax, though Discord did not change as much. Speaking of Trixie and Discord, something that I felt could have been left out were the scenes of them arguing. It was not a necessity for them to argue, and it didn't drive the plot forward so much. The only good thing that came out of it was bringing out Starlight's inner leader a bit. I felt like they could have removed those scenes and we could have had a nice song like at the end of Season 5, a song that frankly seemed like a series finale to many, and a good one at that. Compared to the one line that Rainbow Dash gives us at the end of the episode, it was not nearly as strong an end to a season as any other season before it. Frankly, it just seemed like a normal ending to an episode, which left me a little disappointed. I was honestly expecting to have a talk with Twilight and Starlight about how proud Twilight was of her. Or better yet, Celestia and Twilight and Starlight having a talk about how proud Celestia was of them both. Twilight deserves the recognition for being a good teacher, letting Starlight go out into the world and do things on her own to learn, while helping her and sharing stories with a moral sometimes as well. I want to leave you all with two theories I had while making this review. Now that Chrysalis has fled again, we can only assume that yet another return will happen, and I don't think she'll return in the My Little Pony movie in 2017. So if she were to pair up with someone to exact revenge, why not T-Rex? We know that Cerberus can be easily distracted, and frankly T-Rex and Chrysalis drain a form of magic, be it love or pure magic, so perhaps together they could accomplish something that they could not alone. My second theory resides in one simple line that Twilight said in this finale.
I've been meaning to move these older books to my reference section for a while. Gotta keep the new books front and center.
Do you think that this is a subtle hint at Twilight moving the main six behind and focusing her attention to Starlight, using the main six and their journeys and lessons learned as reference? With that, I leave you to share your thoughts below, both on these theories and overall the quality of this video. So as always, I am the Only Connoisseur, and I thank you for your time. Wait just a second. I just realized something that I think a lot of people glossed over. Chrysalis escaped with everyone standing there watching her escape and not doing a thing to teleport her or levitate her back. I mean, for God's sake, we have Celestia and Luna there, beings that lift celestial bodies. They could easily lift Chrysalis and place her back in front of them and, I don't know, trap her or capture her or interrogate her in some friendly manner like the show would. I feel like this is something that is really glossed over and is really important because Chrysalis is going to come back, and she's going to make a return, and it's going to be bad. So Season 7, please prepare yourself, because she's going to hit hard, and you're not prepared.